Evening, everyone, and welcome to the Centralist. I'm Joe Montaldo. Hope everyone's having a great New Year's wherever you're on our big, beautiful blue planet. I love doing radio, guys. I have a lot of fun, and you can catch me on YouTube and see my lovely half-shaven face up there if you want to come get scared. There's no place I want to be. I mean, I didn't do it. I was going to take some time off during the holidays. Man, look, I went 2 days without doing any radio. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, "Where's the radio? Where's the radio? Where's the radio? Give me the damn radio. Let me on the damn radio." We've been talking about Nephilims and gods and all kind of wonderful stuff and politics and if you catch any of the specials now, okay. I know people are going to write me about this. So we did a Christmas party special and we did a New Year's Eve special. Okay, so we talked about everything. I mean, everything. It was all no holds barred. We discussed all sorts of different things. Not so much topic orientated like most of our shows would be, but you can learn how to make. Oh, we gave away a lot of freebie stuff last night too because I was reading out drink mixtures, and if you could tell me what it was, I was giving you some free books or some free passes or some other stuff. But yeah, man, I'm amazed how many alcoholics there are in the world, man. Y'all are getting them things right, like bam, bam, bam. It's great. I mean, except for the Moscow Mule, for some reason, I gave everybody a little bit of a trouble there with that ginger ale beer. I guess mess with people, but we had a lot of fun. The hosts were, let me say, enhanced. That's the best way to say it. They were glowing, and they went on. I actually left about 1 in the morning, but last I checked, they were still on at 4 or 5 in the morning. It's just an archive that's up there. It's a real long one, but there's a lot of music in the second half of it and stuff, and it's just a bunch of hosts having fun, enjoying themselves. You'll learn a lot about us in both those shows because we're just cutting up. You can find out who we were when we were young, what kind of trouble we got in, and who was the angel and who was the devils and stuff like that, and who still is today. Now, I'm all sweet and innocent, guys. I'm like fresh driven snow. I'm just telling y'all, sweet and innocent. Mm-hmm. If there's too much of me, you might get sick. I'm like dark chocolate. I'm just saying, guys. Anyway, I'm just teasing. Tonight's guest is John Goodwin. He's not really a guest. We're just kind of hanging out today. We're going to be talking about quite a few, a wide range of topics. But if anybody who's not familiar with John Goodwin, shame on you. He's been on our network several times over the years. He's affiliated with L. Ron Hurbert's Writers of the Futures Awards. And they do a great job over there. We're going to talk about that because I've been taking their course, by the way, which I haven't completed, but we have been taking their course. I'm 57% through it. And I got to tell y'all something before we even get into this. I was, nah. You can ask Emily. You can ask John. Emily is John's wife. And I was like, no. I'm not doing this. Y'all crazy. This is not going to help me any. But we're going to talk more about that in just a few minutes. So, John, how are you tonight, man?
I'm doing great. I'm really happy to be able to talk to you about this. And it started back in 2016 when I met you via Jim Marnes.
Yeah, Jim Marnes. Great old guy.
And he was a great friend. But the whole thing of Writers of the Future, I started talking about that. And it became more and more of a thing that you were like very interested in. And then, over the years, we've just kind of like established more and more what it is, the number of people that can do it, and the fact that it's free and it provides the means for aspiring writers and artists. And we struck a common chord of affinity on that. So I'm glad that we finally I was able to finally buttonhole you into taking the course.
Well, we're going to wait now, audience, so y'all know this. When I finish this course, it'll probably be another week or two because my schedules have been really weird lately. So where was I last today? I was reading this morning. Oh, I was on Opening Your Story. But anyway, we're gonna get into all this, the steps I've been through. I've been through 24 of the 43 steps. And I really thought, I'm not big on a lot of these kind of things. So over the years, I've learned that most stuff that I find that I take on the internet, I already know more than what I'm learning. Not true here by any freaking means of the word. Not even close. I actually wrote my first short story about 3 or 4 days ago. It was garbage, I'm not going to lie, but it was coherent. And that was the point. So, don't get me wrong, people. I wouldn't want to try to show it to anybody. But what I mean by coherent is it functioned as a story. It had its start, its middle, its filler, and it played through like it should. Now, yes, the content was garbage, but I wasn't really looking for that. I was just trying to figure out, because one of my biggest bitches, and I've said this to John many times on the air, is learning how to fill the story is a tough thing. Okay, now short stories is not quite as hard because you're not putting as much in there. But when you're writing a book or doing a movie, whatever, you've got to stretch the moment out. And I was not really good at that. I was like, okay, this is what happened, and then I'm moving on. Well, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. You got to build up to it, bring it in and then bring it out. And these things are really helping me with this. The videos are really good. They talk to you like you're a layman and not like you should know what the hell they're talking about, which is nice. And they take their time and explain what you need. And what's really nice about this, instead of aggravating the shit out of your teacher all the time, you can go back, which I've done actually on several occasions. Because there was a part, I'm going to have to go back and look at it. I forgot what it's called, but there was a part when you look for the information for the story. And we'll go back and I'll talk about that a little bit. But these kind of things really helped me because I really didn't know how, when I started writing something, it always sounded like I was writing some kind of schematic or some kind of, like you would read to fix your TV or some shit. It was bad, people. I mean, when I say it was bad, it was bad. And if I'm telling you it's bad, you can just wonder how bad it really was. But because of this, I've actually learned. And I've really figured the more I do it, the better I'll get at it. So y'all might actually see me finally write something. Yeah. Oh, I'll send it to John and Emily like 50 times and drive them batshit crazy and see what I got to do to fix this. but still, what do you mean? Am I going to submit a short story? I tried. You never know, I might, but I'm not this year. I can tell you that now. Well, I won't even say that because you never know. I'm learning faster than I thought it was. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I really thought I'd had the course finished by now, but it's not because of the course. The course is designed to work at your own pace, but if you really want to work the course, you can do it pretty quickly. You could really do it in a week if you wanted to without any real effort at all. But I've been doing a little bit each week, and it gives me time to fiddle around and harass my wife and other people about what I've been learning, which they just love you so much now, John, by the way. They're like, please, now they've heard enough. But I gotta say, I've been pleasantly surprised with the whole course. And really, people, you're gonna learn things that things that you don't think of. What do you mean, Gene? No, I mean it. You're gonna learn things that you don't think of. Because when I'm looking at this stuff, like how to narrate your story, I would just blat it out. But no, there's means to this. There's ways to navigate in and out and make it a much more fluid, much smoother flow. And these are things that if you're going to do this, you really need to know. Or it's going to be disjointed. And if anybody ever reads one of my paragraphs, y'all know what I mean by disjointed. Okay, so funny, John.
But the thing on that, though, Joe, is like you've written a short story now. That's not going to get published, and it's not going to get hit the top of the short story bestseller list or whatever. Isn't the point? The point is now you've actually set out to write a story and you've actually done it. From what I remember from before, that's not something you weren't able to do that. So now you.
Oh hell no, I couldn't do that. Oh no,
yeah,
that was ridiculous. It was actually, and the only times I've ever attempted to write anything, it was just. We'll just leave it alone and we're not even going to tell you. That was that bad, people. I mean, really. I had said a long time I'm not a writer, but now I understand why I'm not a writer because I was never taught how things work. And I gotta see, guys. If it can benefit me, think of this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, if it can benefit my writing. All right, think about it, guys. I mean, somebody the other day said that my paragraphs have already improved. That was just wrong to even tell me that, by the way. But because my brain works fast in my hands anyway. But if it can help me, it can definitely help anybody out there, guys. I mean, it's just something that I think y'all should think about doing, work your way through. Like I said, I'm 55% of the way through. And then, the videos are broke up. They're really easy to understand. The lessons are really easy to understand. They don't use enormous words that confuse people. Matter of fact, I was talking with a friend of mine who's taking the course. I'd actually dared him to take the course because he's always bitched he couldn't write either. By the way, he's already almost completed it, and I might have him on next time you and I are. Yeah, he's working on a novel. He's written 3 or 4 short stories. Now, the last one was actually pretty good. Not good enough to submit anywhere, but still way better than what him and I talked about just 8 months ago. So I was because like he said, like he was talking about, what we were talking about the other day, writing descriptions. And we were talking about that. And we were talking about something else before that. And he said it just helped him, to listen to a professional talk about how you write. He said, some things, like outlining a story. He said, I don't really understand how you outline a story. He said, well, let me rephrase that, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. He was like me. He thought outlining a story meant something entirely different than what it actually meant. Okay? I'm just going to be honest about it. So things like this help, people who, and I don't want to say young writers, for anybody, it doesn't matter what age you're. I mean, I'm 57, guys. Anybody can learn anything new. And I really think it's well put together. It's well thought out. And it's well, no, Jackson, it's not for the professional writer, because a professional writer don't need the course. He's a professional or she's a professional writer. They don't need it. This is put together for people who want to learn how to write. And I like the way it's written, and I like the way it's put together, because it's easy to understand. I don't like when I go take courses and I got to go look the words up that I'm taking the course to. And don't get me wrong, people, I got a private school education and a bachelor's, so it's not like I'm not well educated. But it's sometimes you'll be taking these courses and you'll be, what the hell does this word mean? And then you got to go look it up. No, people, if you're going to teach people, teach them so they can understand. I mean, let's just be honest about it. And this makes it easy. You read through it. Funny, Michael. Yes. No, I don't like 15 character words. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you a little secret. When I was a young kid, from age 9 until I left my mother's house, I had to learn one large word every week, anywhere from 3 to 6 syllables. Oh, yeah, she was serious about this stuff. Oh, she was serious. She was a serious one when it came to education, reading, writing, spelling. Yes, she was. Yeah, you know what's really sad about this is I was honor roll spelling until I got out of school, or until we got out of spelling. I can't spell to save my ass today. Thank God for autocorrect is all I can tell y'all. No, it's not that. I'm just lazy. It's not, has nothing to do with, I don't want to take the time to think about it, because I know autocorrect's going to fix it. I know, the modern world, what can I say? But that's another thing this course teaches you, by the way. It gets you away from that kind of lazy habit you get to letting the computers, or even if you're writing, letting the computer finish or change the words around in the way you write. Or, like when you do grammar, me and the computer the computer and I fight about grammar all the time. It wants to move things around. When I read it, it just sounds weird. I don't like it. I'm like, no, I want it. Yes, it's one of them things.
See, one thing that's great about this is that pretty much it's on the premise too, because we launched this workshop in March, April of this last year, right at the outset of COVID, and so it was actually quite fortunate, because people then were stuck at home, and it turns out a lot of people do have a story they'd love to be able to tell, but just don't know how to. And that's part of what we're trying to enable people to do. So I sent you this one graph, which maybe sometime throughout this interview you can show it. But we're over 4,000 people on this course right now. And I checked it last week, and we've got people from 107 countries now taking this course.
I hope there are going to be more countries in that, and we hope.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool that a lot of people now are just really appreciative. They can now write and tell a story. They just couldn't do it before. They didn't have the wherewithal. And then it's a matter of just writing and writing and writing, keep on doing more. But at least you now have some of the basic tools to do it with. So that's one thing that's been very, very successful. And that's why I'm so happy with you, that anybody that it seems like on all these, on the various paranormal stations that I've done, like I said, I've met a lot of people through Jim Mars, and you've been the one that's become the best friend. But it's just amazing how many people have a story they like to be able. How do you tell your story about an encounter? Something as simple as that, because this isn't just how to write a science fiction story. This is how to tell a story, period.
Well, so and it makes a difference.
They can learn how to do.
It makes a big difference, because there's an 11-day encounter that sooner or later I'm going to put to paper, and this is going to help me do it. Because before I just couldn't. It's like the what section was I in the other day? Well, matter of fact, I sent this to a friend of mine because he was having issues. He's trying to write something, so I sent him this 1,001 story ideas in an hour. I love this, by the way, guys. Now, now you can't go cheating and using other people's stories ideas, but this helps you to understand how to get ideas, how to build them in your head, how to pull them basically out of thin air. That's the best way I can describe it. It's a great part of this lesson. It's really helped me because, like I said earlier, so, just to put this in perspective, when we lost 11 days in Gulf Breeze, Florida. Now, some of that's been recovered through regression and hypnosis and other things along those lines. But what's weird about this is I want to write this down as a story. It might be a good movie, but I never could figure out how to build up to it. Like the drive-in, the golf breeze, or meeting the people from Unsolved Mysteries. There's a lot of stuff that went on that needed to be incorporated into the first part of the book, so people actually understood what was going on while we were there, what we were doing there, and why we were planning on spending 15 days in the Panhandle of Florida driving around. So that all needed to be. See, now I understand, not completely. I'm not going to lie to y'all, but I now understand in a much better way on how I'm going to do this. And like I said, when I finish this, in about a week or two, when I finish this, and it may be sooner, because I may, if nobody bothers me this weekend, I get to hang out. I may just do it this weekend. But regardless, I'm going to go through the course again, because now what I've started doing is, let me see if I can show you all this. I might have this. Oh, man. Now y'all can't be stealing these ideas, people. Okay, I'm just telling y'all ahead of time. I'm just telling y'all SOBs ahead of time. Where the hell are they? Hold on a second. So, okay, this. See, an introduction. See, iCar. You see how it's in there, all this stuff, and then every one of those numbers you see is just the idea of what's going to be added into each one. So each one is actually going to be part of the book. So every number there is basically going to be a chapter going through it. So I got this down pretty good. So there's a complete outline of 2 books in this notebook here. So that part, all right. And that part, it looks pretty good. I'm actually quite happy with that. Now comes the other part, is taking each one of these and turning it into the story it needs to be turned into. Like when we do the introduction for iCar, it's got to be done correctly. People need to know what that organization is, how it came to be, why it exists. So, but now I know the questions to ask. Before I wasn't sure which questions to ask, which were the most important, and how should they be stacked or layered into the story. Guys, I'm telling you, you listen to me talk. Y'all listened to me just 6 weeks ago. I was like, I ain't never writing nothing. My life depends on it. All right? And y'all don't even have to believe it. Take my, I know I'm on the y'all thing tonight. You don't even have to take my word for it. You can go back and listen to countless archives where I'm talking about not writing a book. I'm just saying, people, if I can do this, you should all get out there and give it a try. Get out, write a short story, submit it to the Writers of the Future Awards. No, I don't think you get a win, but submit it anyway. Well, because, if you submit your first story and get it, 2 thumbs up to you is all I got to say. I just don't, for the most part, I don't think that's the way it's going to happen. What did Preston Dennett had been putting it in for?
47 times.
Yeah, 37 times, and he won. Yeah. And I'm not saying you won't win faster, because people do win faster, but I'm just saying, you got there's a lot of competition, and, I pushed them a lot, and we're global now. So, when we're doing it on their awards, these archives stay up for life, and we talk about it. And some of these archives have broke 500,000, 750,000. Some of the shows have broke 1 million. So, there's lots of people out in the world now that know this exists, and we want everybody to get involved. I'd like them to call me and say, Joe, shut up. We got too many submissions. Just shut up, man. That's enough. We don't need no more. People.
See, one thing that's happened though too is that we've got with all the entries now, they increased, but because of the people taking this online course, the quality of stories has increased remarkably, and so now there's a lot more honorable mentions, silver honorable mentions that get certified, and because of the quality and integrity of the Rise of Future course itself, or the Rise of Future contest itself, you have editors that will take a story from a writer, if they say, I'm a finalist in Writers of the Future, and they'll put it in their press releases. It's just that well known and that much established. So even if you're not the winner, you're still going to be able to get your stories picked up by editors.
Now, Jack, to answer your question, I would charge you at least $2,500 for this course. Okay, I would, but they're only going to charge you a big fat zero. I know. Yeah, it's insanity. I know. I agree with you. Jack's like, y'all are insane giving this away. He just jumped on. He's actually there, going where you're watching the intro video. Let me tell you, it goes pretty fast. If you've got the free time to sit down and do this, Like I know a lot of my co-ed friends have nothing to do. This is actually fabulous for y'all. You could actually be finding yourself producing a short story in a week. You could find yourself in a month because and I'm gonna recommend that y'all do this course more than once. Now, some of you won't. Some of y'all are pretty bright out there, so you might not have. But I really, because there's a lot in here that you want to stick in your head because you don't want to forget it midway writing. So you really want this information to stick in your head so use it as a resource. I mean, you can always go back, like I said earlier.
Yeah, you never lose. You once you sign up for it, you have access. It doesn't shut off. You can always go back to it. And one thing, because I know, Joe, you've got yours is global, that on this course, we've also put transcriptions to all the videos. So anybody can go through and download the transcription and translate it with Google Translate to whatever their language is. So we've got several people that in Arabic or in Hindu or in Spanish, whatever, they'll take it and they're translating it so they could do the course that way.
Yeah, I hear that. I know we got a good group in Tel Aviv listening tonight. I know we got some out in Afghanistan listening tonight. So, look, guys, there you go. Get the transcription, have it translated.
Yeah.
Google translate it in no time at all, and away you go.
We did that, and when Mr. Hubbard created this contest in 1983, the purpose was to provide a means for aspiring writers for their works to be seen and acknowledged. And then 5 years later, he started the Illustrator contest, and when we started this course here, it was just a continuation of what he'd been doing, going all the way back to the 30s and 40s. L. Ron Hubbard was one of the most popular writers of science fiction and fantasy, but also westerns, mystery, thrillers in America. And he published over 150 stories in his own in 15 different pen names. So it was like he definitely had the stats to show that he was qualified to be able to tell people how to write a story and teach people. So he wrote a lot of essays that were published at that time in like the various Writer's Digest magazines, Sportsman Pilot. So he published stuff in there and just on the subject of writing and how to do it. So these are the essays that you're reading now in the online course that there's 10 of his essays in there that are the ones that are used and taught by our judges to give that higher tech of how to write and come up with story ideas. Because it's not like this is how you write a story, but there's certain laws that are like universal, like you're learning right now. It's like, it doesn't matter if you write fast or slow. We got judges that will take a year to write a story and others that will write a story in five stories a year. We got Kevin Anderson who dictates his stories when he goes hiking. Tim Powers, he's the one that wrote On Stranger Tides, and he's also one of the people that you're going to listen to on this. He takes 3x5 cards and lays them out loud on his floor in his living room and moves them around to get his story sequence because he writes these very long, involved novels. So you get the various tools of how to do it, but it's not like this is how you do it, but these are tools to help you however you want to go to be able to do it. And then this course coupled with the podcast, which we now air on your channel too, Joe, every week.
Month.
Yeah, it gives people that more the tools. And here's like how this person was able to use it, and you got professional writers, you've got industry professionals, I've got publishers from Tor Publishing and for Bain Books and all the science fiction fantasy magazines. They've all been guest interviews. And the whole thing on it is that we're just trying to lend that helping hand. And that's what Mr. Hubbard is trying to do from the get-go, because it's not a matter of competition that's going to do you out of something. It's just like Orson Scott Card, one of the people you're going to listen to, who has a Ender's Game, which is a very famous book that he wrote, was for him, he said, I want to make this course, I want to make Rise of Future Gold because I want more stuff to read. I'm putting a future so I have more good things to read on the road. He doesn't see it as competition for his stuff at all. And that's what the other judges think. It's not competition. It's just let's increase the playing field.
What was that, Elizabeth? Oh, no, actually, Lizzie, I skip around. Okay, you can skip around in the course. Okay, you should.
Yeah.
But what I do is, okay, just to help y'all understand this. You know what? I'll move the screen I'm on. I'm gonna move over to the other computer so y'all can see hold on, let me do it right now. It's just give me a second, guys, and I'll send this to the YouTube screen so y'all can see what I'm talking about. What I do is so I've been reading through the course, I don't mark it complete until I've done whatever the lesson wants you to do. But sometimes I'll be reading ahead because of other ideas I get or questions people have asked me or stuff. And don't forget, people, like and subscribe on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Show us some love over there. We have 2 YouTube channels, so go over there and check them out. And like I said, like and subscribe. But anyway, let me send this over real quick to the other computer. Dun, 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 boom. And let's go grab it on this computer where we're live at. Yes, the magic of live radio. Look at it. Or in this case, the magic of live video radio. How's that? VidTube. No. Don't be trying to get me to log in thing. What is? Let's see if I can remember how to. What the log is. I got it set on the other computer, people. So I'm not actually if I remember what the hell it is. Yeah, it must be my email address. That's what it usually is. Yes, people, don't try to hack the site. If y'all want to, you don't have to hack the account at Ron L. Hubbard. You can go just start your own account.
Yeah.
No need to try to hack my account. I'm just saying, people. Plus, you better know how to do math if you're over there because it asks you a math question every time. And it's like it wants to know that you know how to do math for some reason or another. I'm not sure what that's about. No, I'm just teasing. It's a security thing. just teasing people. No, I mean they seriously do ask you a math problem. I was just teasing about the rest of it. Okay, now y'all can see now. Okay, I'm sharing this with personal stuff with y'all. You see right here up here it says 55% complete in progress, so it's a little further than I thought. Where is it? Let me find it over here. Is this it? I don't think that was it. I think I went to the wrong place. Yes, I did. Where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, come on, thing. Let me in the thing. Why won't let me see the screen I got over here? What's up with that? I know I'm logged in. Anyway, guys, for some reason, give me trouble. I'm not sure why. Okay, come on, let me in. Okay, there we go. Take me to the workshop. Yes, it likes to tease. What can I say? But anyway, now you can see, okay, course content right there, right off the bat, video introduction of, see what I've done. Basic information for students, yes, because y'all need this information. Right there, important note. Now, right up in here, where am I? Steps in the right direction, story ideas, out of the hat, and story interest. And the 1001 story. This is stuff that I have to be honest with you, really, and this is just basic in this course, okay? This isn't, just really helped me in a lot of ways to just get the little short story out and then give me an idea of how I want to write this. So I'm sure whatever it is I decide to write, it'll get written like 50 times before I'll ever let anybody read it. But still, at least there is a chance now, okay, that I may actually produce a book. I know. And you better hope it ain't a good one, because you know how I am. Once I start doing something, if I like doing it, it's on. I'll be like Nick Redfern at 50 of them suckers out there. No, I'm just kidding. But it really is, guys. I mean, and look, I mean, y'all can see on the screen here, where I've done 3 basic story ideas. I've done all of this. Talk to an author. Well, fortunately, I've talked to a lot of authors. So I got to cheat on that one. Well, I've actually talked to several of the Ron Hubbard authors, but I've talked to a lot of authors over here. So we do a lot of authors on the network. So, and I've talked to a lot of them about how to write and stuff like that. So you search for the research. That's a good. It talks about doing library research. It talks about how to do real research, what you should be looking for. I like the part about turning fact into fiction. There's just a lot of things in here that's going to really help the average person who's trying to write something but keeps stumbling over stuff or running into blocks. But anyway, let me go show you what I was talking about earlier. Let's scroll down here. Yeah, this is still all stuff we've been doing. See video writing. There's lots of videos in here for y'all to just sit and listen. You can chill out, relax, take a listen. You can be writing while you're listening. Actually, that's what I did last time. But see, up in here is what I was talking about. Now, in here, I skipped ahead a couple of times too, but now I'm up in here. I was just reading earlier today. I was in here, the middle of the story. I was reading about the opening and the middle of the story. because I was trying to think about something I want to do with a particular. Just recently, a big story fell into my lap, and I was trying to think about how to put it into form. And I don't want to write a book out of this, but I am going to write something. I guess it would qualify as a short story or something, but it's going to be what actually happened in these events, and we're going to make it public. So I was reading about that just to get an idea how to stretch the story out. Because if I write just the event, it'll be like 3 paragraphs, and it'll be a boring read. It'll be an exciting read because of what happened, but it'll still be a boring read. I'd like to, I'd like to stretch it out to 6 or 12, maybe 1 or 2 pages, maybe 3. So these things have really been helping with that, guys. And like I said, you can go back to any lesson. Like here, look, let me click it on for y'all. No, I see, there you go, bam. There's a young man talking to you right there. I forget his name for some reason. I've only heard him like 5 times now, but I still don't remember his name. Hey, why is it not scrolling? Page, behave yourself. Well, for some reason, none of my computers. Yeah, so for some reason, my computer's being a POS at the moment, but let's refresh. Maybe it'll do what it's supposed to. Okay, maybe not. Okay, refresh yourself then. Well, it doesn't usually do that. It usually works quite well. That's not them. That's my site, and it's not their site. It's my computer doing it. But see, it just went right back to doing it for some reason. It's being, I don't know what it's being, but
that's Tim Powers. He's the guy that wrote On Stranger Tides that was made into the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. That's one of his books that he wrote.
So yeah, see, you're learning from pros, guys. That's the other nice thing. You listen to them talk. They're giving you valuable tips, valuable information. And you got to remember, in the long run, your competition to these guys, if you learn how to do it right. So I don't even know why they give them the secrets away. I'd be like, no, screw you. Learn on your own, people. And I told you earlier, I'd be charging for the course. Oh, yeah, because if I can learn how to write for you should be charging at least $2,500, maybe like 5 G's. They can make it right out of me, people. They got a money maker on their hands here. Well,
yeah, various people have taken the course and said this is better than master classes. They've spent a lot of money in master classes. They said this answered questions that none of the master classes even touched. So that was really good.
Well, guys, it's an easy way to learn how to write. No, I'd go over there and do it. Carolyn, I would. Oh no, actually, I'm in the YouTube chat room. If you want to go over there, let me make sure this computer's logged into it. But yeah, I'm in there. Y'all can go in there. Well, somebody asked me earlier about going in a chat. Hello. No, we're trying to get everybody out of the other chat rooms and off of Facebook and into one chat so we know where everybody is. But right now, people scattered out all over the place. Yeah, it's kind of insane. What do you got, Halise? What do you got for John? Oh, Halise wants to know how much you're paying me. You ain't paying me nothing, dumbass. I mean, really? No. I took a liking to John. Well, first off, Jim Mars liked John. Jim Mars and I had to talk about John. End of 2015, I think it was, and Jim really liked what they were doing and what they were up to, and I really had a lot of respect for Jim Mars. He's a great writer. He's a great researcher, more so than a writer. I mean, man, just really did his homework. So I really appreciate people who actually get out and do the research. I tell people all the time, I said, well, why should I believe you? And it's always the same answer comes out of my mouth. Well, don't believe me. Go find out for yourself. I'm just telling you what to look for. I said, you don't have to believe anything I'm saying. I'm just telling you what's going on, and you can go look and make up your own mind. Because I'm not looking to start a cult or a following. I could have done that quite often when I was young, man. There's quite a few people. Oh, you need to start a church or a cult. I'm like, why? That just sounds like a headache is what that sounds like. Glinda, no, it's writersofthefuture.com if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Yeah, just click on and away you go. You just go to the website. Yeah. But you see, it's all right there. Y'all can see writing the ending. See, I'm going to need to know this for sure. I haven't read this yet, by the way, guys. So I'm going to need to know this for sure. So I'm just saying right ahead of time. Writing the ending. And then I like this definition of suspense. I'm definitely going to read that. So, I mean, everything in here is going to get read, but it just helps you. Man, I didn't see this down here. I got to come look at this. Anyway, I'll get in here and finish this up, guys, and I'll have John back on when we finish it. Because what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to try to attempt another short story sometime this week if I get some free time. Because as far as I know,
Yeah.
we're only scheduled at 2-day work week this coming up week. Um, so maybe if life would be nice to him, I might get, because, and by then I'll have got at least another 4, 5, 6. Maybe I'll have section 7 out of the way by then. And yeah, you do it in section, guys. And I prefer to do it that way. I like to do a section a day or something, or whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. Plus, when you go through the stuff here, you can do it, and then all of a sudden you go like, wait a minute, now, if something else triggers, there's another idea that you can go back and reread something or rewatch something that now has a different perspective because now you've got more data.
Yeah, and that's what I'm telling everybody. I would definitely read it at least twice, if not more. What is all that racket?
Yeah.
Somebody up in the front? It's but it would just be better. It would be definitely better to read it more often. What is all that racket? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go shoot somebody here in a minute. I thought the front studio was empty, so there shouldn't be nobody up there, and nobody should be in the other room. So, somebody's up there making noise. There. If y'all hear me shoot somebody, just ignore it, people. Just move on. It was a COVID death. Yes, it was a COVID death. Shh. They'll get money for it. No, I'm just teasing if anybody writes to me. I'm just teasing people if anybody writes to me before anybody gets crazy. Gracie Jones. Gracie Jones. I like that name. What do you got? No, well, yeah, there's physical people, meaning the videos. Yes, but you mean is there someone teaching the course? No, you're teaching yourself. Well, they're teaching you because they're on video. It's not like you're in a classroom or in a Zoom room or a Zoom meeting room. It's just you're following the videos. Well, no,
yeah.
you
Now
can write.
this course is put together. We've been teaching this workshop for like 36 years, and so it's been distilled down. These are the things that are the highlights and what's really successful that writers need to know about. So we pace a person through. These are the steps using what was created in the Writers of the Future workshop for the winners. And so now with this, we've got the ability for anybody who wants to learn how to write to be able to walk through this thing here and learn the tools of it. And even though they're not themselves a professional writer or an experienced writer, it's still in the right sequence. You can go back and do these things time and time again. Even if you go through it once and write a story, you go back and do it again, all of a sudden like, oh, wow. And you can learn more things and see how more things can apply to it just because of repetition. It's like yourself, with what you do, in your work or anything that you do. The first time you did a show, the first time you built a house or whatever, it's not nearly as good as it is now when you do the stuff. So it takes just doing it. And that's the same thing with writing.
No, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, and it does. Repetition always helps. Looking back and always helps. That's why when people teach you in school, especially when you're young in school, they want you to write it so many times because it helps you to understand it. And you should always look. People, it's always good to always check because memories fail, things change, ideas change. It's always good to go back and just look, especially if you're unsure about something. You can go back and look and say, hey, oh no, maybe I should try this way. Oh, this is what the lesson meant. And you may not have a full understanding of the lesson when you start to write. So as you're writing, going back may help you actually to get a full understanding of what it is. So far, it's been really clear to me, guys. I got to be honest with you. So far, it's but like I said, I'm only up to section 7. I'll be starting that today or tomorrow. I'll actually probably do part of section 7 later tonight because I got some bid work to do, so I'll probably do that while I'm doing bid work. Yes, I actually multitask, people. I can't help myself. Yeah. It's just one of them things. If I'm not doing at least 2 things, I figure I'm wasting time.
Now you've got people listening to this all over the world, right, Joe?
Oh yeah. I have to look and see where we are right now. But yeah, we already know there's not going to be any less. The station legit goes out to every country in the world. This show right now is probably broadcasting to at least 100 or more. So I know.
I sent you that image of the workshop where all the different countries. I don't know if you're able to pull it up or not.
Let me see. Let me see. Where did I do it? I seen it just a little while ago. Yeah,
I just emailed it to you before we went on.
Yeah, no. Let me. That's what I was saying. Let me see. I know I seen it just a little while ago. What the hell did I do with it? Let's see. Open it up. Where did I put it? I hate when I move stuff around when I'm not paying attention and I forget where the hell I put it. No, it's not where I wanted it. Okay, there it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, no, you got to go over there though. You're in the wrong place. Give me a browser link thing so I can open it in my browser. You still ain't gonna let me do it, are you? Why in a bleep? Okay, guys. Well, sooner or later I'll send this to the other computer, ladies and gentlemen. But for some reason, right now it doesn't want to let me open it in a browser for some reason. Let me see something else. Maybe we can just send the email over there and do it that way. Yeah, maybe not. Elizabeth, no, I said earlier the course is free. Yeah, it's 100% free. They don't charge you for anything. They don't ask you to do anything. They don't say come clean my house for doing the course. No, it's free. And if you win, you get invited out to LA. I know, it's free and you get to go places. I mean, come on, what else can you ask for? Who? Kelly Reese is sending you a Pizza Hut pizza. Well, thank you. I will tell somebody in the studio they expect a pizza. Pizza. Now y'all have really confused me now. Anyway, let me open this on this other computer. Mississippi Power Support. What? What? No copyright claims. Man, that shit going on all over the place. See, that's why I hate to open this email up. This thing is insane. There's like a creature feature going on in here. Actually, Jessica, it is truly free, and it is something you can do at your own pace. Like I know right now, I know you're personally not working right now. So you can hang out with your kids and still do this course. Yes, and when they start bugging you, run their asses off. Well, I know you're old. This is what's going on 15 now, right? You should make them take the course with you. Yeah. Why not? I would. I actually told my son the other day because my son likes to write. He's not like his dad. He actually likes to write. I told him he should be taking the course. Yeah, because it would help him immensely too. Well, it helps you build confidence, which everybody needs. And any job you do, whatever it is you do, you have to build confidence to be successful. You can't go into a job not knowing what you're doing or not feeling confident that you're going to do your job because more than likely you're going to screw the job up. So if that's how you feel going in, you just know you're going to mess up. But this really does help you to build confidence in this level. What the hell? Now you can let me access my email. Just been one of these days all day. I told John earlier I was about to fling a computer out the window. Why is it not let me access my email? Most interesting. Okay. I don't want to see profiles. I want my email. Damn. I don't know what this thing's doing. It keeps. Oh, now it's telling me it's empty. There's so much shit in that email, guys. It's not even funny. Empty. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Still ain't gonna let me have it, are you? I don't know what the bleep that's about. Let's try this again. All right, well, we'll close and try it again. But anyway, guys, while I'm playing with that, and I'll sooner or later it'll come up over there. Reese, what's your question for John? Oh, how did John? Oh, I mean, wait. Oh, okay. I got it. It didn't make sense at first. Reese wants to know how you got hooked up with the Ron Howell Elwood Awards, and do you write yourself?
I originally got started working in publishing back in the mid '80s, and I was just doing like the very bottom of the org structure, and I just kept on doing it. And now it's been a couple of decades, and so it got to where I was able to learn more. So there's all the different hats in a publishing org, which I learned how to do, and so. In 2002, I was asked to start up a publishing house called Galaxy Press, which publishes all the fiction works of L. Ron Hubbard plus the writers of the future. And so that's where I got very intimately involved with it. And then we started we found out that there's a lot of people that really want to be able to write and don't know how to write. And so it was quite a thing for a lot of people. So they really wanted to do it. So this is what we've done. So that's how I got into really creating this Writers of the Future, because that's something that Mr. Hubbard put it in his will in '86 to continue funding this contest. So he's the one that pays for when a person enters a contest, because it's free to enter. So he pays for that. The judging he covers all that stuff. So it's just something that I help forward that, because I think it's really important to help promote literature, education, and if people write more in creativity, we're just going to have more. There we go. We're going to have a lot more stuff, good things happening, I think. Anyway, this is a map that you got there that shows all the countries. In blue is all the countries that have people taking this course, and the ones that are gray haven't done it yet. So if anybody is listening to this that's in the gray zone, please start this course so we can turn you blue. But if you're also from this other country and you're like, well, I can't do it because I don't speak that language, just realize other people from your country taking this course and having a lot of successes and wins.
It's I gotta say, so far I really enjoyed taking the course. It's been kind of a godsend to me. Now that I've actually sit down and then started reading through it. What do you mean, Reese? Who talked me into what? Oh no, his wife's a Canadian woman. She threatened to come down and beat me like the rest of them Canadian women up there. No, I was like, once I found out that, I was like, yes, ma'am. To hell with that. Yeah, y'all know. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a regular listener to this network, you know we've got several Canadian female hosts on the network. They keep their men locked down in cages and stuff, guys. It's rough up there. Moose toting. I know. Geese slinging. I don't mess with them. Yes, ma'am. That's how that goes. I'm not messing with them. I'll leave y'all on y'all own. What's that, Carol? Yeah, I know you're a Canadian woman too. Yes, ma'am. You see I'm yes, ma'am, already. I bet you she is sweet. That don't mean she won't put a whooping on you, know. Emily, if you listen, we're talking about you, baby. Oh no, we got Laura Lee Potvin, who lives in where the hell does she live? I was gonna say Storm and Norman land, but Thunder Bay. And then we have Michelle DeRoche and Emilie Pisano, who live in Niagara Falls. And then we have Dave Scott and Alfred Weber, who are out in BC, Canada. And then we have one other besides that, but I'm not going to mention their name. But yes, people, these Canadian women are rough. They abuse their men, beat them, smack them, lock them down. Well, you know, John, the men might like it. I don't know. I'm just saying it's dangerous. Is all I got to say about it. I'm just saying it's a little dangerous. But look, guys, so you look at this. We got this map up now. Okay, Greenland, get on the ball, buddy. Where's the Isle of Skye at? They look like they got one. Let's see, Africa's got a few in there. South America's got a few in there. Look at that, man. The Americas almost all got something in there. All right, the rest of the world. Ooh, Asia's almost all got somebody there. So it's basically Africa and South America need to get on the ball. Mm-hmm. Mongolia. All right, look, a relative of Genghis Khan. Y'all can write. I know y'all can. Don't BS us, okay? No, we know y'all can write. Don't BS us. Jeremy John St. Sinclair. Or you think you're one of Christ's children? Original descendants, I'm sorry. Well, I seen the St. Sinclair, so I just assumed. So you do. Okay, well, no, I'm just asking. No, all the Sinclairs think they're Christ's descendants. I'm not giving you any trouble about it. So what's your question? Have you? You've submitted, 7 stories to Writers of the Future? Well, keep submitting. Like we said earlier, Preston Dennett did it 37 times for you once, so I wouldn't give up on him. It doesn't mean just because you don't win now, don't mean you won't win next year.
We've had a lot of people that had to enter 20, 30 times before they actually won. Or the other thing that'll happen too is that an author just gets better and better and better, and you'll find that your story starts selling, and you will pro out, meaning that once you've had 3 professional short story sales, then you no longer qualify for Writers of the Future. But by that point, now you're a professional writer. I'm just saying, guys. I'm with John on this. Get out there and write. If you don't write, you ain't gonna find that anyway. Exactly.
Chrissy said, the more she writes, the more she realizes she can't write. How do you know that? I mean, have you submitted this to anybody? I mean, you're like me. You're gonna be your own worst critic, but you don't really know until you submit it to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, you
And
got to
no,
keep on doing
I
it. You
don't
just keep on
recommend giving it
writing.
to friends or family, by the way. I'm going to tell you a little secret. When it comes to this kind of stuff, I wouldn't immediately give it to a friend or a family. I would give it to somebody who doesn't really so much know who you are. It's just let them read the story for the story, because family might want to put connotations on it, or may have a little jealousy tendency. It just I've just learned over the years from other things that sometimes it's not always best to rely on your family to be honest. How's that? But do what you want. I mean, it's your life. You don't have to listen to me, but I would. And besides, sometimes it might be a little embarrassing to submit a story to somebody in your family. What do you mean? Oh, I don't know. You know what? We'll ask John right now. Jessica wants to know. So, how do they know if their story's been accepted? I mean, what do you mean being read? Oh, okay. I guess what she's trying to know is, how do they know if you're actually reading their stories when they come in?
Okay, so the contest runs. The contest runs every 3 months, and so all the submissions at the end of, we just finished last night at midnight. We just finished the first quarter of year 38. So all those stories now go to judges, and it goes to, first one is we have 2 initial judges, and then they go through, and because every story gets looked at. Now, one thing too, because some people are better than others, but every story will be looked at. Not all of them will be read, because sometimes it's going to be very, very easy to see that they need some more work on it. So you'll get a letter back saying, "Thank you very much for your submission. Please resubmit." So you'll always get an acknowledgement to your story.
There you go.
And it comes within 3 months. Usually it's about 3 months after the end of that quarter. So the people that submitted up through yesterday at midnight will hear back by March 31st from that first quarter. And so it's everybody is read, and then depending upon the quality of the story, then it gets further into the judging process.
Well, there you go, guys. Now you know how the process works. It is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Is John a judge? I don't know if John's a judge. I've never asked him.
No. What we've got is I'm on the administration side of things. It's blind judging. So the way it works is that your story comes in when you upload it onto the website. A number is assigned to the story, and that's what goes to the judges. So all they see is a number and the story, and so that's what they judge against. So if it's we have no idea. The judges have no idea if it's male, female, what ethnic, nationality, anything. It's just, is it a good story or not? And so and we find out where the winners are from once the judging is finalized for that quarter. So that's one thing that people have to really understand, because it's merit competition only. It doesn't matter that you're the son of Stephen King, or you're the some such thing. It's like, because they have no idea who you are. It's just the number and the story. So that's one thing that makes it really, really good. And that's why the judges are, so we got the biggest names in science fiction and fantasy who are judges for this competition, because it really levels the playing field. And that's what the opportunity that we provide, so that this is the only book that gets published, Writers of the Future. The L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future volume. We just released volume 36 this past year. Now 37 comes up in this coming year. But the whole there aren't books that come out like in magazines, short story magazines. They sell because they've got the strength of major names to carry it, and so sometimes they'll take 1 or 2 newbies. But this is all newcomers. These are all the new people that are being published for the first time, that are getting their names out there. So the strength of the L. Ron Hubbard name helps to pull it. And then the judges also will usually get 1 or 2 judge stories which add into it, because they want to be able to help pull the story along too, with people wanting to read and meet these new writers. So that's what makes it a total different prospect than what you find anywhere else out there. So nobody else has something which features new people, because everybody else is all based upon established professional with a major name pedigree that they can sell with. We're just the opposite of that.
Yeah, guys, there's so much of this that y'all can get involved with and write and submit. And I would submit. How many stories a year can you submit? Do you mean how many stories a year, or how many? Yeah, so one story per thing.
Per quarter, yeah.
I don't think they want you hitting them like 30. Well, he was like wanting to send you 10 at a time. No, I don't think you can do it that way. No,
it's one story per quarter, and that's where some of your big name, like Kevin Anderson, who's one of the most successful science fiction writers out there right now. He entered, I think, 27 times as a for Writers of the Future, and then eventually he wrote out. He sold stories, so he could no longer qualify for Writers of the Future. But he said he just learned the business of writing, and he learned how to make a deadline. He learned how to force himself to write, and so he got better and better at it. So you've got several of our judges got their start in Writers of the Future, but then they didn't win the contest, but they pro'd out. So you got Robert Sawyer, who's the Dean of Science Fiction in Canada. He never won Writers of the Future, but he submitted several times, and then eventually, with a critique that he got from Algis Budrys, who was the coordinating judge when he was writing, suggested that he do this, and this, and turn it into a novel. He did, and so he sold his novel and disqualified himself for the contest. But he's just, it was because of Writers of the Future that he got his a lot of the initial direction that made him successful.
Well, I'm telling you, if y'all can get in here and write, especially if you can win, guys, it can definitely get a career started. That's for sure. If that's what you're looking at. I know a lot of people want to write. I know, like Glenn was saying earlier, he wants to write because it helps him to relax. And he said he didn't necessarily know if he's going to ever send the story to anybody. He said, but it does help him to relax. Hey, if it does, more power to you. No, it makes me pull what's left of my hair out of my head. But, hey, different approaches for different folks. That's all I'm saying. What's that? Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? Where are you calling in from, Steph? Or I should say, where are you writing in from tonight? Glendale, California. Oh, well, hello. John's out in Cali.
Yep.
So what you got for us? Or you mean the award ceremony? No, I think you got to win to attend. She was asking, can anybody attend the award ceremony?
The award ceremony is it's a black tie event by invitation. We do broadcast it live as it's happening on YouTube. So we couldn't do it last year, and we're waiting to see what happens with the pandemic, because right now it looks like April isn't going to happen this year, but maybe by September we'll have things under control. But it's going to be it'll be broadcast live, but it's by invitation, because it's, especially now, because it's the same venue with 2 years worth of winners. It's going to make it a real.
I'm coming. I'm gonna sneak in. Yeah, watch. Okay. I'm gonna sneak in. I'm gonna get. Look, guys, I own a lot of suits. I can look really good when I want to look good. And they won't even know, who's that good-looking guy? What's he doing up in here? Yeah,
wow, put him on the red carpet. Get him on the red carpet.
I'm telling you, people, y'all don't know. Have y'all never seen me on TV? You don't see how I'm dressed on TV? No, I ain't wearing no cheap shit suit either. No, indeed not. Look, first off, I'm gonna take the time to buy a suit. It's gonna be a good suit. I ain't wasting my time. What do you mean, Jack? What, I own one suit? No, you want the truth? I own 11 different suits. Yes, I do. And plus, I own about 4 sports coats, and I own about 30 dress shirts. And probably, here, look, I'll show you all the ties right there. They're hanging right there in the studio. See them all? See all them damn ties? See all them jackets and shirts over there? Yeah. Yeah, because my wife won't let me keep anything in. All my clothes got to stay in they got a big closet in the studio. And I like to look good when I go places. It's funny. It's really. Here, I'll tell you all a quick story. So a couple of months ago, about a year ago, actually now, I was asked to lecture in Utah. So, people at one of the office buildings that we run the maintenance on see me a lot of times, but when they do, they see me in work clothes. And a lot of times we'll be dirty. We'll have been working on, painting, sheetrocking, roofing, plumbing, whatever. We'll be nasty and dirty when they see us a lot of times. So they just assume that's what you look like. Well, I'm getting ready to leave. I pull up, I'm in my car, not my truck, but I'm in my sports car. And they're like, oh, whose car is it? And I come walking out. I'm in a nice three-piece suit. So you come walk in the office, and the girls know who I am, the receptionist, because we work together. And she said, oh, yeah, y'all looking good. So these two women and this guy come in, and they're talking to me. They're like, oh, he must be one of the new tenants in the building. And I've worked in all three of these people's suites on many occasions. They still didn't know who the hell I was. And so I turned around and I said something. So I looked up at her, and I said, how's them lights working? They're working okay now? And she looked at me. She said, Joe? She said, oh, my God. She said, did someone die? I said, no, baby. I said, I own a radio station, and I run a research organization, and I go on lecture tours from time to time. You lecture? I said, yes, I also have a bachelor's. And they're like, what? Oh, my God. They were just stunned. I mean, as far as they thought, I was just some piece of crap, whatever on the planet. People, my dad used to tell me this all the time, you should never judge a book by its cover. And I'm going to tell you why. My dad was rich, much more so than I am. And he used to go places. During the weekends, he would have some raggedy pants on, paint shirt pants. He just go around, people be like, oh, treating him like, oh, poor man. And he remembered that shit when he came back, all dressed up and crap. It used to crack me up. And if you treated him right, like we went to a dump one day, and he's all raggedy, beat up. And this old guy come up, help him get everything on. He tipped him $200. And $200 in the 70s, dude, was like getting tipped $2,000 today. I'm just telling you, it's a little different, man. It was actually worse than money. Now, people do that all the time. And it's funny because just recently a good customer, and who really appreciates me and really likes me and is grateful to have me as their contractor, seeing me on TV. She goes, you look so different. I said, on TV, I look like a big fat pancake. I said, what are you talking about? She said, Joe, she said, that's a nice suit you were wearing. That's a nice tie. That's a nice shirt. She said, boy, you got a little class. I didn't know you had that kind of class. I was like, excuse, and if I said that to a woman, she want to slap me and shit, but no, she just said it like nonchalant. I was like, oh man, the abuse I got to take. But still, it's a compliment and a cut off at the same time.
Yeah.
What's that? Regina, Selena, whatever that is. No, he just said it's black. It's invitation only. Why did you just hear me say I'm gonna sneak in? No, it's invitation only. You got to win. So I would advise you to start writing. I'd write like 10 short stories and keep submitting them bitches until one of them gets in there. No, you can't submit all 10 at one time. No, but you can submit one at a time 4 times a year. That increases your chance of winning right there. Well, you're going to have some competition, and let me tell you what, I blab these guys all the time. We talk about we talk about John and Emily a lot, but we talk about the Writers of the Future Awards a lot on this network now, and a lot of our other hosts have picked it up. Well, our goal is to like to see a submission from every country in the world going to them, and we're going to push it until we see it. No, really, I get nothing out of this other than having John and Emily and them as friends. I don't get nothing out of this. No, really. It's insane. Hold on a second. Did we lose you, John? We must have lost him. Hold on. Did we get him back?
Yeah, here.
There we go. We got him here. No, really, guys. It's just we enjoy what we do with them, and we really want to see a submission from every country in the world. Why? Yeah. Just because it's communist don't mean you can't sneak a letter out. Just recently, I had the pleasure of interviewing a Chinese woman who writes Chinese paranormal, which is illegal in China, in case you didn't know this. She had contacted me about coming on this show, The Centralist, because she wanted to talk politically about how her writing and how it got her, arrested and why she had to leave China because she didn't live in China anymore because of her paranormal writing. And so we brought her on, and she's a really good author. She's won some awards. And speaking of that, I forgot. We won Best Esoteric Podcaster for all of the UK. We got the award yesterday. It'll be on the site sometime in the next day or two. Yep. So we won Best Local Broadcaster. We got a place in national broadcasting this year. Uh, uh, no, we got a top 10 in the national broadcasting this year. Yeah. And then now we've got best esoteric broadcast in the UK. Well, we got an honorable mention for news in the UK because we do real news. We don't do, when we do news, we do real news. We don't do opinion news. We do real news. Like we tell you the story and you make up your mind. And then we do a lot of hard hitting stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. We take on abortion, gun rights. The station does it. The one Stephanie I did on abortion won several awards. Yeah, well, I did that, but then I did a thing on men's rights when it comes to children in this country. That won some awards. Actually, made me a good bit of money too. And we take on hard-hitting things that nobody wants to talk about. That one subject I just talked about, I don't want to get into it tonight, but if you ever listen to this, when I did this show, the first 15, 20 minutes, I had more women calling me in and calling me blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. And by the mid part of that show, I had more women calling me and saying, oh, my God, you're right, and turning on my side. You'd have to listen to the show because it did take too long to explain, but go listen to the show, people. We tackle on a lot of things, and I feel like John and Emily are just helping you people. It doesn't matter what they personally get out of it. The fact that they're not charging you for the courses, not charging you to submission. I'd charge off everything. I would charge you for the course. I'd charge you to submit. I mean, we're talking about getting money here. And it's not so much the money you might win. It's the fact that you won and they're acknowledging. It's the fact that Ron Hell Hubbard Award acknowledges you. And now you're going to get to go sit and hang out with some of the bigger writers out there who can really help your career. It doesn't guarantee your career is going to take off, but it's a big feather to help it take off. Because when you go to talk to publishers, the fact that you won this award is going to help you, not hurt you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because if you're a winner, definitely, as well as being a finalist, if you can put that in your pitch letters when you send it to an editor, you automatically get taken out of the slush pile. They'll give you a break ahead of other people because of the fact that they know that they're with the Writers of the Future. There's you can write, and there's no secret connections, none of this stuff here. It's just straight. You got that because you can write. You're the top, 2%, top 5%, depending upon which level of award you get from Writers of the Future. And it's just known that's what it is. But again, Emily and I do this because it was created by. We work for L. Ron Hubbard's publishing house, so that was his directive he gave with respect to Writers of the Future, and directed that it continue after he passed in 1986. So that's what we're doing here. So that's just part of the direction that was set, and he's put in his will that continues to be funded. So that's what it is. So we continue doing that, and it grows more and more. And as we've got a situation as the arts get more and more devaluated on the planet, there's less and less money that goes towards people being able to write, to do art. Having this as something that they can do, we've got a lot of our judges, both writer and artist judges, who really take it to heart to want to be able to help aspiring writers and artists because they know how hard it is. It's very hard. And with schools being less and less endowed with this, being able to have some place to go to learn and to be able to get some direction makes all the world of difference. So we've got the Writers of the Future podcast, which has both the writers and the illustrators. And you were talking about your podcast being award-winning. The Writers of the Future is also in the top 10 of the People's Choice Podcast Awards. So we just got that this past year, which is really great. After 1 year, we're already award-winning podcast.
Yeah, a good podcast.
We're very excited about that.
And it's doing well. And guys, he does a weekly podcast. It airs on Monday at 4:00, so you can catch it here. But it's always in syndication. It's always you can always find it now.
Yeah.
The one they do on Monday is a featured show, so you can always find it in the featured slot for 4 or 5 days. But I do publish one of their older ones every day. Now we're on, I think, 59 now, so there's still 59 more to publish. But that also means that there's already 41 or 42 of them, maybe 44 of them up there already published. So check them out. Yeah. There's a lot of material in there. And these are writers. A lot of these are writers. There's some lesson stuff in there. There's some writers talking about their careers. There's some writers talking about being a woman in the field. There's a lot of information. And take your time. I mean, they're there available. None of them are real long. They're anywhere from about 18 minutes up to about 60 minutes. They vary in length as you go through them. I would recommend listening to them. I've been listening to them myself. I don't, Jessica.
Does anybody else have any questions about the Writers of the Future contest or about entering or how to get on there?
Wait, Jessica, wait, what do you, Jessica said she didn't understand. She said, so if you submit a story to someone that is published, you can't submit it to you, right? Yeah, well, that would make sense. Oh, so you want to know, okay, so she's wanting to know if she writes a story and all right, no, I got what you're saying now. It just took a minute because you were kind of discombobulated there. Anyway, she wants to know, so she writes a story and it gets picked up by Ron Hubbard and she wins from you, and then she turns around, sells a story, and it makes money. Can next year she still submit you a story, or is she considered a professional writer and can't submit anymore?
Okay, the way it works for Writers of the Future is, and it gets into defining what are the terms to be able to disqualify. But if you sell, it has to be professional rates, which is 8 cents a word currently, and that you're paid for whatever you sold, and you can't have any more than 3 short stories professionally published to be disqualified. So if you've sold a story and it's been published, you can't now submit that to Writers of the Future and say, okay, look, I want to do this one here. It needs to be a new story.
Yeah, it needs to be unique. Yes. Well, so you understand what he was saying? Well, no, I know you've been published before. No, I know. We got several publishers that hangs out in the group. Yeah, well, okay, I don't want to sound rude.
I mean, a lot of people have been published on these NaNoWriMo and on these free digital things, and they've quote unquote published a lot of stuff, but they haven't made any money on it and they haven't done anything like that. So that won't disqualify you because that doesn't count as a pro sale.
See, that's what I was getting ready to tell y'all. There's being published and there's being published. Well, actually, technically, I have been published, not for writing a book, but there's stuff that I've written in the past that has been published for research articles for other stuff I've done, like some of the stuff in the blood type studies and the DNA's actually been, some of it's actually been peer reviewed, but it's not what we're talking about. That's something else. But, I've got friends who have been published, but not really. No big publishing company picked them up. One of these smaller company picks them up or they're self-published. First off, people, self-publishing is fine. I'm not hating on self-publishing, but to me, that's still not really being published. You're doing that yourself, not unless you're making a buttload of money off of it. And I don't know any self-publishers that are. I know some that are making some money, but not a lot. And then there's like Greenlee and a couple of the other public smaller companies out there that publish. I know we work with a couple of the other publishing companies that work with one big one and 2 smaller ones. There's a lot of authors. A lot of people can write. There's some talented people out there. And not everybody who writes a book writes a good book. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It's like every movie you see. Is every movie you see good? Hell no. It's like 1 in every 500 that are really good. It's the same with books, But some people are good at stringing words together. I guess it.
And that you get good at that by practicing. You just got to do it and do it and do it, and that's how you get to be good. That's even the thing that Hubbard and several of the other judges too, like throw away your first million words. For the professional writer, you just write and you write and you write and you write, and then you build up a style. And then when you're writing, you don't worry then about how your structure is, because now you can just write. You can conceive an idea and write it because now you've just practiced enough. And that's just a matter of you can look at and go like when I think Hubbard did he spoke at Harvard in a creative writing class. This is back in the 40s, and he was a professional. He was one of the big name authors in America then, and so these students there were writing there's a short creative writing short story class, and so they've been working all semester to write their story. And he saw when he went in there that they were all working on their one short story for the whole semester. He said, "Really?" So what he told them was, you need to right? I think it was like 50,000 words. It was something they just kind of like, they just went absolutely in shock. They just couldn't believe it. Like they were doing their little short story. And he said, no, a writer writes. That's how you're going to make it. And so that's any of the established professional writers, they just write. You take a look at like Brandon Sanderson right now. I think he had 7 novels written before he sold his first one. You just got to keep on writing. And then eventually you get the drill down, and it's just all of a sudden it starts clicking. But you just got to keep on writing. But what this course does is it gives you some of the tools you can do that, and you can overcome that first hump. Because if you never write that first short story, you never will get to the next level or the next level. And that's what this is about. Just give me some of those basic things. And even if it's just you want to be able to write something to pass on to your kids or to your whoever, it still has there's still a thing you need to be able to know to do to be able to write something that people can go like, wow, that's pretty cool. And that's what this is about.
I'm telling you, people, it will definitely help you. Even if you're intermediate writer somewhere, just been writing for a while, but you just don't feel as comfortable. I'm telling you, it's going to help you. It'll actually help quite a few people who take this course. And even if you think you're a professional, you might want to go check it out. If you're not making money off your books, or you're not really getting published in a lot of ways, it couldn't help you. It couldn't hurt you to take the course. It would definitely help. And y'all can always go to writersofthefuture.com and submit. It's real easy. I'll pull the site back up in a minute, but it's real easy to submit. It's not real complicated. He said 4 times a year. Yeah, 4 times a year. Well, I guess it's quarterly. That would make sense to me. Rashish, what do you got, Rashish? Where are you calling from, Rashish? Egypt. Well, hello in Egypt. How you doing over there this afternoon? It's afternoon over there, isn't it? What are you doing? What you got for us? Oh, you've submitted to him before? Well, keep submitting.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, what do you mean you didn't know? So you submitted when you were in college in the United States, but since you've been back to Egypt, you can submit from Egypt. Yeah, it doesn't matter what country you're in. Yeah, submit, man. Oh yeah, submit.
We even had a winner this past year from Iran, and unfortunately, because of political ties, they're not going to be able to fly out to the United States. But he was the winner, and he's just a super nice artist, a great guy. So we were very happy about that. We also had a winner from Turkey. So it's like anybody can win. It's like if there's political reasons why a person can't be brought over because we can't get a visa, then that's a different situation. But if a person wins, it doesn't matter where they're from, what their religious affiliation is, what their nationality is. Can you write a good story? Can you illustrate a good picture? And that's what this is about.
Well, there y'all go. What do you mean, Ronnie? No, I can't draw, dude. No. My wife can. She's very talented, but I'm not. No, that's not my kind of artistic abilities. I have different kinds, but no, she's the. My son likes to write, and all my stepkids can draw. All of them can paint and draw. They're all quite good at it, actually. None of them do it for a living, though. No, they all do it. They're all professionals in different careers, but some in management, some in just how it is. That's what they want to do with their life. I don't know. Well, getting into painting or art, I mean, if you're gonna live as an artist, whatever kind of artist it is from, you just got to be prepared for the ups and downs. It's like being a contractor. When you're a contractor, there's years that you make money like you're like, oh my God, I'm making some money, and there are years you're lucky you can feed yourself. It's just how it is. It's why we call it feast and famine work, and it's the same for most artists. I mean, even if you get a book published and it makes money, if it's the only book you get published, it's not going to, unless just like phenomenal book, it gets on the Times bestseller for a year or something. Other than that, you're not going to make enough money off that book to sustain you. And your first book, you don't get that money. That's another thing that irks me about a lot of this stuff. Being that I do have a lot of friends and a lot of people who do publish, I noticed on the first couple of books, they make virtually no money. We were just talking with a fairly famous writer just the other day on the network, and he was talking about his first 6 books he wrote. He was basically, his very first book, he got a nickel a book. I was like, wow, really? I would have said, well, don't even bother publishing it. But I guess still, if it gets out there and people get to know who you are, his next book, he got 25 cents a book. Now he gets the majority, he gets the lion's share of the book because now he's an established author and he's got a couple of books behind him that have done pretty well. But still, it took him, where's he at now? Book 18 or book 19? He's getting up there with his books. It took him a while, and if you, just because you write a great book doesn't mean that somebody's going to make you rich for writing that great book. And another little thing, here's like Travis Walton, who wrote Fire in the Sky. It's a good book. The book's much better than the movie is. And in a book sold at least 1 million copies. Well, he's not a millionaire. At $20 a copy, you'd think he'd be a millionaire, but he's not. He's not even filthy rich from the book. And then it was made into a movie, and he still didn't get filthy rich off the book. Figure that out, guys. Mm-hmm. So it's not quite what everybody thinks it is. For most writers, it's going to take more than the first book to get you famous. Not all of y'all. Yeah. There's some books that can be written like, there's a couple of books out there like Battlefield Earth or Dune. There's a few books that are going to, and no, not just in that genre and other genres, but books like that are just going to stand out. Well, because they're good books. They're in depth. There's a lot of stuff that goes into them, and they take you on a trip that takes you out of this world and into another one. And they do a good job of it. And stuff like that, it doesn't matter what the story is about. If it can take you out of where you are now and make you stop thinking about everyday life and move on, it's a pretty well-written book. And those books tend to do better, but that's not the majority of books, people. Let's be honest about it. That's why we want good writers. Yeah. That's why I'm always on y'all. Submit. I'm ready for some new stories. Hell, they told me Expanse is only getting 1 more season. We need a new writer for that. Get some shit. Write some good Expanse stories and send them to John. Oh yeah.
Well, one of the upcoming stories we're going to have is Stephen Sears. He wrote all the stuff for like Swamp Thing and for She-Ra and about 4 different A-Team. He wrote all these screenplays, and he talked about how he got into being a screenwriter, from being a writer to screenwriter. And one of the things that our podcast does too, goes over the whole subject of diversifying and how you can get into a certain area. So it's not like a writer writes short stories or a writer writes novels. A writer writes. So he goes into, from various of our guests, how to diversify. If you're an artist, how to diversify in art. We got several interviews with people talking about what they've done to be able to spread. And so no matter what's happening, to be able to still continue working, even with no more conventions right now. So that's one of the things that we do as well, is trying to provide as many different solutions and to assist people to be able to survive through this thing and just continue to grow and expand.
Yeah. And you know what, guys? We're going to have at least, I hate to even say this out loud, but we're going to have at least another 6 months of COVID lockdown. I mean, where a lot of people aren't working. This is a good time to sink it in there. I was picking on John about this a couple of weeks ago when he was on and talking about how many virus stories there's going to be coming out.
Yeah.
Remember when Andromeda Strain, the original Andromeda Strain, was written? There must have been 150 new movies made about these viruses that got loose. That's all thanks to somebody writing a book. Well, most movies do come from a book, Chris. Yeah, most of them do. Or a short story. No, it's just, it's an idea. Well, a lot of times that's why the movie's not as good as the book, or not the same as the book. A lot of times they just use it as a basis for whatever they're going to do. Like, if you ever read Fire in the Sky and then go watch the movie, it's way different. Yeah, the movie's way different than the book is. It's kind of like night and day. And I see lots of them like that. People get a concept, and then they want to take the concept and make it into what they want to make it into. It's like any new sci-fi, that has genre behind it. A lot of times they're trying to remake it, even though there's something there to start off with. What's that? Arena Del Rey. Arena Del Rey. Where are you writing in from? Mexico City, Mexico. Oh, well, hello, Mexico City down there. What is it? Y'all are West Coasters, aren't y'all? West Coast time out there? either Arizona or West Coast time. So what do you got for us? Oh, you're going to win this year because it's only a short drive from where you live to LA, just a few hours. But hey,
More
I'm
power
all
to you.
for that. Yeah, we want you to win. Oh,
Absolutely.
submit the story. What you
Yeah.
gonna? What do you mean? I don't think it matters what you write. Does it actually matter what they write about as long as it's a short story?
It's going to be a short story. It's speculative fiction, meaning it's science fiction, fantasy, alternate history. It can be dark fantasy, but it's along those lines. It's not just a regular
But she
other
said she's going to
thriller
be
stuff.
writing about how there's four of her.
Okay. Well, that
Okay,
sounds
now
pretty.
wait a minute. Now, before we go any further, it's just like, are you writing like it's a sci-fi? Are you writing like you splitzoid, schizoid? I just want to know ahead of time. In case we need to send some guards to the award ceremony this year. I just want to know ahead of time. Oh, so for you time travelers or dimensional travelers. I got you. Well, no, it
Yeah,
sounds
well,
good to me.
that's definitely science fiction.
Yeah, that sounds fun to me, right? Send it in there. Well,
Yeah,
I'll
the
tell you
thing that
what,
the
Cal,
judges look for is originality.
yeah,
So it's not that no ideas have never been thought before, but it's like, how can you make it really fresh and original so that it's people are like, wow, that's way cool. And that's one thing, if you read Writers of the Future book, which I highly recommend you do, if you've not read it, the series, you'll read these stories and you're like, how did they think of that? Because I'm always amazed. And I've been reading these things now for 37 years. And I'm just amazed how every year there's a whole new, array of stories, fantasy and science fiction. They're like, how do they think of that? That's like a brilliant idea. So,
oh, it's interesting you said that because I've been talking with a donor about buying all 37 books. We were talking about this the other day. And at the end of this year, giving them, doing a contest that runs all year and then giving the whole set to one individual at the end of the year.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Christopher, there's a lot of good stories in those. I've been in 5 volumes so far, I think. Yeah, I think it's been 5 because someone sent me 36. 33 we got was a donation from one of Mars's followers right after he died. And somebody said it was his, but I don't think it was. No, Jim's stuff got locked down pretty tight when he passed away. So that happens a lot with old ufologists. Yeah, it does. Well, for whatever reason, sometimes, and Jim was more than a ufologist. He was more of a political activist who liked ufology on the side, to be honest with you. Yeah. Well, I remember a long time ago, a friend of mine said, "Oh, you can't talk politics with Jim Mars." I'm like, "Do what?" Because I've always had, for at least the last decade, I've always had a political show that I do on the side. So I said, "You think not?" So Jim and I were just about 12 years ago, or 9 years ago, we were live on air. So I asked him a question. Oh, no, it was longer than that. No, because Obama was his first term. So, yes, it's about 12 years ago. I asked him this question, and he went off for like 10 minutes. I said, well, Jim, I host News on the Flip Side. You want to come join me? Oh, yeah. So we spent 3 hours tearing up 4 different presidents, complete 2 Congresses. And let me tell you what, the man is as well researched on that as on any other thing that he does. He is the only person that I've actually got on. Yeah, he's the only person I've actually got on radio with that could keep up with me politically wise, and we had a field day, and our politics were closer aligned, so that made it easier. But still, and neither one of us knew what our politics were when we got on the air together. We had no idea where this interview was going when we did it. He was just a great man. He was a lot of fun to talk to. He was just well versed, and he had a commanding presence, which I've always liked about him. Whether you like the guy or not, he did his homework. Whether you agree or disagree, he still did his homework. He got out there and did the research before he ran his mouth, which is more than I can say for about 80% of people. I had a guy dare me a couple of months back that if I would call into these paranormal, UFO, and esoteric shows, and when I hear somebody just spouting bullshit, school them on it. I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time. So anyway, a donor, I'm not going to mention any names, a donor said he would give me $250 a call. I'm like, really? I said, well, the station can always use free money. We want new computers and shit. So I've done, 19 or 20 of these now. These poor people don't even know what hits them. And what's funny is at first they don't know who I am. I'll call in and I'll say, hi, hi, yeah, I do UFO work and I won't immediately mention my name or anything. And I'll start talking, and you'll hear the host a lot of times go, God, this guy sounds familiar. And then I'll just rip into the ufologist. I'm like, what are you, an idiot? I said, my damn Chihuahua knows more about this than you do. Let me explain to you why you're wrong on so many different levels. And then you'll hear the host, oh my God, it's Joe Montaldo. You're in deep shit, dude. He said, I ain't defending you. I'm not getting into it with him. I'm just leave him alone. Well, I've been doing this for 40 years. I mean, some little whippersnapper the other day tells me, so I said, dude, how long you been in the field? 5 years. I said, oh, wow. I said, did you ever stop and think everything you've talked about we've done and moved on from? Oh, no, you could. I said, yeah, I've been in the field for 40 years. What do you think? Oh, shit, really? I was like, what an idiot. People, I don't care what I do. I own 3 businesses, well, 2 businesses and 2 research organizations. It doesn't matter. I do lecturing, I do touring, I do a lot of other stuff. I have a bachelor's in science. I've got my hypnosis. I can teach hypnosis. I've got my private investigator's license. I am certified in at least 30 other different things from different companies I work for. It's from voice stress analysis to facial recognition to running facial softwares and other softwares, body language recognition. I'm certified in all of this. And when people talk to me, I'm like, really? Did you even bother to find out who the hell I am before you start telling me that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about? And I'm like, it's just... and then they get schooled because, once you get me started, you can't shut me up. It's one of them. That's Caroline. No, John was saying earlier, him and I both were hoping they would do this in April, but I don't think the COVID. All right, real quick updates on COVID. We're not going to get into the COVID thing, but real quick updates on the COVID. Maybe by the end of February, most of the essential workers and old people in old folks' homes and other old folks will be vaccinated. If everything runs smooth, people like John and I, because we're a little older than you 30-year-olds and 20-year-olds, will probably be vaccinated late spring, early summer. So maybe May, maybe June. Everybody else is looking like midsummer to the end of summer. So I'm thinking, and we were told by a couple of companies that we do video with, that we had TV gigs with last year, they said, don't expect anything until September. That's what we were told. So I'm going to stick with that. That sounds pretty good to me. And no, nothing's going to just change overnight. And even with all the vaccines out there, it's not going to just change overnight. People are going to be gun shy about a lot of things for a long time. But we'll do a show on that in the future. It's not for tonight, but we will do a show on that in the future. Yes. But that's why. Oh, no, John's chomping at the bit. He didn't want to miss the one last year. And now he's going to have to double up. Yeah. If he's got to miss this year, he'll have to triple up. That would be like a massive event. He'd have to rent half of LA out. I'm teasing, but no, you got to be invited. What is with all y'all going to go party crash, man? You can't do that. He'll arrest your butts. He'll have y'all arrested and towed into jail. Submit your story, and if you win, you'll get invited. It's that simple. And remember, it's not just you can win for your artwork. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you know a friend of yours and you can't write and he's writing, he needs some artwork done, go see him. Because I know there's a lot of talented artists out there. Oh yeah. I remember the first time I took the art test. What was that? Draw Tiny the Mouse. Oh Jesus, it was a disaster. I couldn't. It was sad. I couldn't even trace it as good as my friends could freehand. It's pathetic. Is all I can say. Not my skill set. But I don't try to tell people. It's like somebody said, "Well, I bet you can sing." Yeah, if you want to go tone deaf. I don't have a problem with knowing what my negatives are because I know what my good things are as well. So it's not a real issue for me. I'm real secure in who and what I am, which is more than I can say about a lot of people I know. We got time for a few more questions. What's up? Oh, okay. Harold, I ain't seen the name Harold, and I couldn't even tell you what. I got a relative named Harold, but that's just weird. But anyway, Harold from Cleveland. Okay, Harold from Cleveland. Yes, well, I can answer that for you because yes, it's sci-fi. Yeah, you can submit sci-fi. But how many words? How many words is it, John? How many words can?
17,000 words is the max.
See, guys, he says 17,000 words a short story. To me, 4,000 words a short. 17,000 words like half a novel, man. What the hell?
Yeah, that's like a novelette. So
yeah,
it can be any the normal stories that win are between 4,000 and 7,000. but the maximum length is 17,000 words.
There you go. Get in there, write the story. Well, no, Marcia. No, if you write it on your Word or your pad or anything like that, it keeps count of the words for you. You don't have to go physically count them.
No. Yeah.
No, really, it keeps count of it. Well, it keeps count of the spaces too. Mm-hmm. So you've got to tell it which one you want. Well, because I noticed with I forgot what publishing company it was, but they count the space as a word. Yeah, so I don't know why. I guess maybe they can only publish a certain size. I guess it's because they can only go a certain amount of pages or something. Whatever the deal they have is, it must block out X amount of pages. Because I know with Ricky was telling me about this just recently with the publishing companies. He said they actually count the spaces. He said so normally. He said you would be 1,000 pages, but it's actually going to be 500 pages because there's as many spaces as there is words. It's like, well, that's ignorant. He said, no, it's each. He said, because it takes up space on the paper. I guess if that's the point you're making, I can understand. I still don't understand why they do that, guys. I'm not even going to pretend like I did. I'm going to try to give y'all some bullshit, and I don't know what that's about. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not a publisher. What do I know about? I'm not a book publisher. I am a publisher. I'm just not a book publisher. I publish media all the time. Yes, this is what we're doing media right now. That's going to be published in a half hour. Mark, wait, let me get this question straight. So you're going to write and win because you want to meet who? John will whoop you like a stepdog, buddy. You better watch out. Mm-hmm. He wants to meet your other half, is what he's saying. She's Canadian. Didn't I just warn you about Canadian women at the beginning of the show? Didn't I? When you get locked down in a cage and you got to scrub floors, I don't want to hear about it. Not my problem. John just got out the cage himself, so y'all better watch out, people. 2 more questions and we got it. Okay. No, serious questions. Start with the BS. Oh, okay. So Kimberly wants to know, why do you think Ron L. Hubbard did this? Why did he put this money aside to make this possible? It seems like a really unreal and nice gesture. We all know who Ron Hubbard is, I guess, but go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So in the 30s and 40s, Ron Hubbard was, like I mentioned earlier in this interview, was one of the most popular pulp fiction writers in America. And he wrote mystery, adventure, Western, science fiction, fantasy, some romance. He wrote all the different genres, military fiction. And so he also had a reputation for he would meet with other writers and help them. C.L. Moore, who's a very famous writer from the pulp era, and she was actually one of the first judges for the contest as well. We have these letters back and forth between her and Hubbard about him giving her tips and advice on what to do to write, on how to do things. And he wrote several articles for, like I said, Writer's Digest and a few other publications. So for him, it was just a matter of lending a helping hand. In 1940, when he was flying his first flag for the Explorers Club, he was doing research for the U.S. Navy on what the equipment that became Loran, and he ended up in his ship needing some repairs in Ketchikan, Alaska. So he launched his first writing contest called the Golden Pen Award, and that started in 1940, and that was the forerunner to the current Writers of the Future. So he always had that as a goal and objective to be able to help artists. And for him, science fiction fantasy is the herald of possibility. And so it was important to put attention on a positive future. And that's pretty much what you're going to have with his stories and what he's trying to do by endowing this contest. And he was one of the most highly paid authors. And even after his passing, he still remains one of the most highly paid authors in the world. So he just endowed this and said, keep it going. And part of why you've got all these major names as judges for the contest is because they reviewed it and go, look at you, it's the real thing. It's legit. And so you're going to have major authors who are, when they're invited to become a judge, that will lend their name to it to help, support it and to help out the aspiring writers themselves. And they just, several of them said, well, I wish I had either one had the wherewithal to be able to endow this, but I can at least support it by lending my name to it now that he's endowed it. So that's one thing that he did, and he continued to do that. And for him, it's not a problem because, he remains very well paid. His books sell. And so hopefully that answers the question.
It does. Ursuline? That's what it looks like, Ursuline. Okay, I was just making sure. Where are you calling from, Ursuline? West Virginia. Well, welcome to the show. Actually, and I'm gonna answer this, and then I'm gonna let John finish it up. No, Scientology has nothing to do with this. This is not this. I get this question at least once a show, and I have nothing against Scientology. I've done a lot of research into it. We've got some friends. As a matter of fact, later this coming year in January, we're going to be doing a show with a Scientologist. He's about midway up in the church. Just because I do this with all churches, not just with this one. From time to time, I feel the need for someone from whatever religion it is to come clarify. Because I personally get tired of hearing all of the conspiracy theories, okay? Well, it's like a good friend of mine, when I was in Utah lecturing, and everybody kept telling me how the Mormons are being possessed by aliens. No, they do believe that life came from somewhere else, and one day they're going to go looking for it. That's all fine, but that's not what, the everybody said, oh, the ETs were living in a seed bank in Utah. It's just ridiculous stuff, okay? And it's the same thing with this religion and with other religions. Sometimes, media or people who are less than scrupulous or people who are just disgruntled sometimes either make shit up or just, exaggerate stuff. So I just feel the need to clarify every once in a while. I've got about 6 friends that are Scientologists, to be honest with you. I will say this. All 6 of them are as rich as, but anyway, not because they're Scientologists. Though. Matter of fact, all 6 of them were rich before they became Scientologists. They love the religion. Their wives love the religion. They've been bugging me to join for years. I said I'm entirely too poor to be a Scientologist. No, it's a joke, people. They don't care how much money you got, but it's a strict religion, stricter than you think it is. And there's a lot of things involved in it, but it's not, they're not trying to take over the world. They're not trying to brainwash you. And they're not trying to suck you into the story so they can suck you into their cult. That's not what's going on here. No, I know what you wrote. That's why I brought this up, because I seen exactly what you wrote. Oh, you're just doing this so we can drag people into the cult. That's not true. And have you ever met some of the people in Scientology? Do they look like cult followers to you? They might have their own cults because of who they are, but they're not cult followers. You can tell by their personality that's not happening. Anyway, I'm sorry. Sorry, John. I don't know what it is. At least every show, though, somebody's got to try to toss that in there. Well,
yeah, I'm kind of used to that.
Yeah. But I tell people all the time, study religion yourself. Find out what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, if people are going to use, you can take a look at pretty much anything right now. And, just the false information that's found on the internet. You can pick politics, you can pick education, you can take any subject, and it's such a wide open area for people to dump in their hate and their false information. And so when you have that stuff happening, it's okay to have your own, what my team is correct in what we think, but someone else has I see this a lot where, as long as you toe my line, you're good. If you toe some other line here, then you're an extremist, you're a fanatic.
Yeah.
And so you get that kind of stuff happening, and it's not based on anybody doing any research or learning, and just not even knowing what it is that, I know one of the main things that Scientology is working on right now in Florida is there's a bill there that, any kids can be picked up and sent to a psych hospital without the Baker Act. There's a lot of work trying to get that repealed because it's just not right, because parents have no say.
There's a lot of good people in the organization. Yeah. And because a friend of mine asked me just recently, he said, because a lot of my friends are getting more religious as they get older, which is not that unfamiliar, but they're always trying to give, because I was raised Catholic and converted to Baptist, Pentecostal. My wife was raised Pentecostal. Well, she was also raised Catholic and then Pentecostal, and she was raised strict Pentecostal, where they couldn't cut their hair and had to wear dresses and couldn't watch TV, could only read books. And she's a book reading fiend, by the way, because of that. That woman can read a freaking 500-page book in 2 hours like it ain't nothing. Amazes me. Matter of fact, a lot of times when I get books in that I just don't have time to read, I'll ask her to read them and sum them up for me because and she's real good at doing it. But, at this age, I'm not really looking to join any religions. I just, I'm more set with where I am, and I'm more confident in who I am. And I really don't think that whatever created us is so much worried about what religion you belong to. I think it's more worried about how you live and how you treat other people.
Yeah.
But other than that, so I don't really think there's all that much information. I mean, all that the bigger problem there. What's that, Christopher? What do you mean? No. Well, no. I'll get John to tell you about it. What happens if you win? So first off, look. I know. Let me answer. Let me answer our question first. It's www.ridersofthefuture.com. Just go over there. Look. Let me move this map for a minute, and I'll show you right quick. Bam. Okay, maybe not because I think I closed the wrong thing. No, there it is. All right. So, do this real fast. Scroll up here. Okay, y'all see this list on the side? You're going to see this when you log in. Bam, bam, bam. Enter Writers Contest right there. Enter Illustrators Contest right there. Look, click. This is really easy. This is writerfutures.com, people. Bam, bam, bam. There you go. Enter Writers Second Quarter Contest 2021. Deadline March 31st of 2021. So get your butts in there and get them subscribed. Click here to enter contest. See how easy that is? Uh-huh. No, I'm just saying. I know I sound like I'm being a smartass, which I am, but I want you to see how actual easy it is. So go over there and submit your story. Well, I imagine you probably just upload it.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It gives you direction how to do it, and there's a whole thing there. If you look at that, it has writer contest rules. So it gives you the rules. It lists off all the different things, how to space it, and the length and all that type of stuff. So you can't have your name on the actual document itself. That gets put in on the application form. But when the judges get it, they can only see the title, and there's a number that's assigned to it by the computer.
Now, to answer the other question, I'll get John to tell you what the prizes are, what you can expect if you get the prize, and what will happen when COVID goes away. Go ahead, John.
Okay, good. So the way it works is that each quarter there's 3 winners for the writing contest. The first place winner gets $1,000. Second place is $750, and third place is $500. And that's paid out. Then when the book is actually published, you're also paid professional rates for the story. So it's 8 cents per word, depending on how many words it is. You get a check on that when the book is published. And then there's going to be one person that's going to be the grand prize winner for the year, and that person gets an additional $5,000 check on the stage at the event. All 12 winners for the writer contest and all 12 winners of the illustrator contest are flown out to Hollywood for a week-long workshop. And wherever you're from, like I said, we had a winner this year from Iran who we can't get a visa for, so he's not able to come even though he won. But provided that there's political ties that we can, for a person to come out here, then they get flown in from wherever they are. They're put up in a fancy hotel in Hollywood. It's right now, this next year is going to be the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. And that's right there on Hollywood Boulevard. So they'll be there for that. And then we have a big black tie gala where we have a lot of media will attend and take pictures. And everybody gets a lot of media attention as the winners for this contest. And then you're presented the award from top names in writing and illustration. Plus we have the Hollywood celebrities that are also there too and make presentations. We had one of our illustrator winners a few years ago. He was presented by Nancy Cartwright, who's the voice of Bart Simpson. And he was so cute. He was like, I got to get a picture for my grandkids. Can you please do that? Because they're going to think I'm so cool now that I'm here with Bart Simpson. But so you'll get that. And then it's, in that week-long workshop, you're taught by the 3 instructors that are teaching this course here that you're talking about doing. Plus, we have about 20 other judges that come in, and they each teach a 1-hour class on some specific aspect of writing science fiction, fantasy, research, how to do hard science fiction, the do's and don'ts of creating, of world building. There's all kinds of different stuff on it, which just really gives you a bunch of tools you can use as a writer. You don't have to use it, but these are all tools that have been used by like Brandon Sanderson or by Orson Scott Card or by Larry Niven or Kevin J. Anderson or Robert Sawyer or Sean Williams. So you got these big name authors that tell you their different tools of the trade that will just help you. You have it there for use or not, and you can put it there and have it. And maybe you also have to keep on writing for a while for it to actually like, oh, that's what he's talking about. So you get that as well. But anyway, that's what you get for being a winner. But right now, we decided to take the 3 writers workshop judges and have them do the videos just to give people a leg up to get started. It's not everything you're going to get when you actually win the contest, but it gives you a lot of the stuff there so that it just helps you so you can move a lot faster to making it.
There you go, people. No, I'm winning this year. What are y'all talking about? I'm going to write one at the last quarter and sneak in and win everything. It's going to be so good, they're going to give everybody else prize money. Just kidding, guys. They don't do that. Just before anybody writes to John, they don't do that. I'm sorry. Better be careful. Yeah. What time is it? I'll let y'all sneak one more in because we started a little late today. What do you got? Oh, you just got a comment? What's your comment? Oh, John's. It sounds like he's a lot of fun. He's a blast. Well, a lot of times he has his other half with him, which she keeps him in line. That's what that's about. Oh yeah, buddy. Last time she had a cattle prod charged up in the background. Bzz, bzz. It's getting a little scary. I'm just saying, it's getting a little scary.
My wife is amazing. She is amazing. She's the one that actually created this writers' workshop. She's the one that scripted it and the whole thing and got all the judges in. She set up the whole room for recording all these guys. So
she does a great job. She does a really great job.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about Emily. Yes, that's who we're talking about. Yes.
Yes.
Just in case y'all got confused and thought we were talking about somebody else. No, we're getting ready to get out of here. But what is that, Donnie? Where are you writing in from? Where? Northern Ireland? Well, hello over there in Ireland. How y'all doing over there today? It's evening time over there. What, like 3 a.m. or something? 2 a.m. Yeah, I know it's 3 hours over there. What's going on? What do you got? Oh, okay. I know. I'll ask him because I don't know. So he's asking for the guidelines so he understands like sci-fi or something along those lines. He says, is there like a PG rating? In other words, is there a rating from like G to R or something? What kind of language can be in the stores?
It's qualified. We say it in the actual rules, but basically it's PG. We have these books that are available for students in middle school on up. So we keep them like that intentionally so that young students can also read it and enjoy the stories too.
So PG-13 people basically is what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So PG-13 or lower, not high or lower. Yeah. No, I'm with him because young people need access to books. Look, when we say book, okay, using the book today is not as conducive as it should be. But when I say book, it can be an online. You can be reading it on your computer, on your pad. It doesn't really matter. Maybe I should say reading the story, because books are getting less and less each year, and more people are moving to online stuff, which is fine. I mean, a lot of people keep their books in pads, but I got to tell y'all, I find in every generation, from Z generation to baby boomers, a lot of them like the tactile sensation of feeling a book in their hand. So I don't know if books will ever go away completely, and I don't think they should, because one thing all these sci-fi movies have taught me is when we get rid of all the books and we put everything on digital, the world's going to come to end. We're not going to have any books to figure out how anything worked. So I'm just saying, people, let's keep some books around. We can have both. We can have digital and we can have books. I mean, what's the difference? What's your favorite? Wait, what's your question? What's your favorite sheepskin paper? What's your favorite paper? You mean book paper? I don't know. How do I know? John, you got a favorite book paper? I've never had anybody ask that question before.
Yeah, the way it works in publishing is like depends on what kind of a book you're doing. Like mass market is usually the cheaper paper, thinner paper, and then the novels is a heavier stock paper. So it depends on what kind of a book. Like when you have the super coated paper, that's what you use for the coffee table books. So we use all kinds of paper depending upon what kind of a book it is.
And I didn't know any of this, by the way. No, I didn't. I'm glad you asked the question. This is more useless information to put in my head for me. I don't want to know what the paper is about. Not just something if somebody ever asks the question, I'll know it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, guys, I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us tonight. I see there was over 400,000 people tuned in tonight, so I appreciate everybody hanging out. And at least 67, maybe 80 countries for sure. It might be 100. I can't see who's over there. I do see quite a y'all from Scotland. And by the way, I'm glad to see you Scots. And I found out just recently I'm 40% Scottish. 43% actually. I was like, and my last name's Montaldo, so you figure it out. Mm-hmm. Apparently Daddy was being a bad boy somewhere along the line. Well, maybe it was Mom. Somebody in the family was not telling the truth. But for all y'all over there, I hope y'all having a great day. For everybody around the world who's listening to us, stay safe, stay COVID friendly. Try to keep a decent attitude while this is going on. It's looking like 6 months. Things might change. I don't want to sell a bunch of false hope because we don't really know yet. But sooner or later it's going to get better, people. So try not to let this wear you down. I mean, really try not to let this down. And Reese, hey Reese, you're in Italy. Hey, what you doing over there? Oh no, I know right where you at. Yeah, I got a friend that lives there. In Tuscany, yeah. There's a restaurant on top of a mountain down there. It's Tuscany Montaldo. Yes, it's our family name. Man, they make great food from what I hear. You gotta give them a try. Well, the province is Tuscany Montaldo. There's actually several provinces with our last name. Yeah, don't ask me. I was invited to. I helped restore a church. It was a 1,300 or 14, anyway, somewhere between 1,200 and 1,400 years old church that had these beautiful murals in them. And they couldn't get any press to get anybody to help them. So they had contacted us because the town had my last name and somebody had told them we had media. So I gave them all the free media we can. I hooked them with other people, hooked them up with other radio stations and stuff. And they invited me. Eventually they got enough money and enough people to come help them. And they got all of them redone and reworked the whole church. It's beautiful. So I have a standing invitation to come stay anytime I come. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The only thing they're not going to pay for is the airfare, but everything else would be taken care of. It's a beautiful place, yes. It's a weird place, too. But come on, guys. I do radio 6 nights a week. And when I'm not doing that, I'm doing investigations for ICOR or I'm traveling or lecturing. And if I'm not doing that, I'm doing my daytime job. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. And if none of that's going on, the wife wants her time. Just one of them things. Yes. Well, I got to be doing something right. I've been married 38 years. Yeah, it's not like, yeah, I've been married longer than some of you suckers been alive listening tonight. Mm-hmm. We'll talk when y'all get to that status. Come talk to me. We'll talk to you. But we got to go. Any last words before we get out of here, John? Anybody want to plug, promo? Let anybody know where you're at? What's going on?
Just I look forward to anybody who's got that story that they've been wanting to tell. Take advantage of this course. Take advantage of this course, and hopefully you can get that story out there because that's what this is all about, and we're just very happy for that. So, riseofthefuture.com. And again, if you've not read a story from Rise of the Future, then get a copy of L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. I'm the publisher, so I've got to put my plug in for that. You can get it either at Amazon or pretty much anywhere where books are sold. And just to read it so you can see what it is, what the competition is, and how good you have to be a winner.
Actually, we've given 2 of their books away this year. Oh, yeah, you should have called in. You should have been listening. Weren't listening to the right show. That's all I can say. Mm-hmm. Got to be listening to one of my shows. No, their books only get given away on my shows. No, that's just how that works. You got to be listening to one. Well, sorry, you weren't listening. Nothing I can do for you. Go buy the damn book, people. It ain't that expensive. Well, I can't tell you. Yeah, unless you're buying it for next Christmas, but no, Christmas is over with. Now you got birthdays coming up. Yeah, maybe a belated New Year's present or something. But January is a dark and cold month for most of the country, so buy somebody a book that might bring a smile to their face, or a laugh or a giggle. It ain't good sci-fi if there's not laughter in it. I'm telling y'all that now. Anytime you write sci-fi that's totally dark, it's garbage. It's my own personal opinion, but really, all the great sci-fis, all the ones that last that always have comedy. Because you can count on one thing when humans, they get down and out, the world's coming in, it's going to disaster, somebody's going to crack a joke just to relieve the stress. And that's just human nature. But when you don't see that in these movies, you know that, well, they're just trying to be as dark as they can without anything. And that's just not sci-fi. If sci-fi don't have some humor, and it's not real sci-fi. That's my opinion. You don't have to get mad at the sci-fi writers. You can get mad at me. And again, to everybody over there in southern and northern Scotland, I hope y'all having a great early morning, spotting those weird little people walking around your countryside. Yes, write some stories about that. That could be interesting. Anyway, we got to go, guys. We're running out. We've ran out of time. But again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to The Centralist with John Goodwin and Joe Montaldo. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Remember, don't be scared. Write a short story. Submit it to writersofthefuture.com. What's the worst that can happen? You don't win. What's the best that can happen? You do win. Give it a try.
Yeah.
Good night. No, nobody's on tonight. We're actually just John and I. I got to do a show in what time is it? I'll be on in New York in about 40 minutes. Yeah, I'll post it to the page. Yeah. And then I got a late evening show, and then I'm done. Mm-hmm. And then tomorrow I'm on the Greystone with Michelle DeRocher. Yes, from 5 to 7 this time. Yeah. Oh, Michelle's a fabulous co-host. Oh my God, Michelle's fabulous. Plus, she does a lot of the research I don't, so it makes it even more fabulous. Yeah, she does nice, great research packages and sends them to me. Oh, I could kiss her. Yes, because it makes my life easier, and I appreciate anybody that helps me out. But we got to go, guys. Stop bugging me. Y'all stay out of trouble. Submit your story. Submit your story. Submit your story. If you're from a country that's not on that map you've seen, submit a story. For everybody, submit a story. But we want to get some more countries on this map, people. Submit a story.
That's right.
Just get out there. Don't be scared, man. Come on. Eventually, I'm going to submit one, so y'all can't be scared. And if you're young people, even if you're old, it doesn't really matter what age you are, but submit. And don't forget, subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to BitTube, subscribe to all of our channels, wherever you listen to us at. Okay, now that I'm out of breath, good night, and stay tuned for dun, 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 Science and Beyond. Good night, everybody.